Good day, everyone, and welcome to the world of the International Fab Talks. We are happy to connect with you every single day. We have wonderful professionals, unsung heroes, and people from different walks of life sharing the platform on the International Fab Talks. The sole purpose is to elevate our levels, to be better versions of ourselves, to understand and to create awareness, to alert the public, and to keep us all well informed, regardless of any topic which is taboo or which is spoken widely in the public space. Today, we are going to discuss a very taboo topic. I think it is taboo for the older generation, but for the younger generation, they are very eager to hear about it and to get to know more about it and to solve all the hidden questions. Let's welcome our celebrity and guest for today. He is none other than Dr. Sagar Pathak. He's joining us all the way from Pune, Maharashtra. You're going to have a wonderful time getting to know all the things that were in your head and how you can clear them with this video. You can view it in the very right way and get all the details, and you could also connect with our guest if you'd love to avail any of his services. He's very open and a person connected to serving the community in the right way. Hello, doctor. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation.
Thank you, Andrea, for having me on this show. And I just wanted to correct a little bit. Say, you said taboo topic, which I really object to because the topic that we're going to discuss today is taboo in our heads. And it's not that just the younger generation wants to hear. I think across the human spectrum, people want to hear about it. So let's remove that taboo, and that's I think why we are actually having this talk today. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for starting it on a very positive note. I appreciate that, Dr. Sagar. That's really nice. So, friends, let's take out the word taboo from our thought process or from the way we view life. So now everything is to be discussed in the open space, and we have to have the right kind of information. And that is why today International Fab Talks has invited our guest. He is none other than Dr. Sagar. So let's go ahead and understand as to who he is and what are we going to discuss today. Dr. Sagar is a gynecologist and as well as a sex therapist. Let's get to know more about it as to what he does and how he's able to reach people, how many years he's into it. Is it his passion, his career? What is it? Let's get to know, and how you could also benefit from this session. So I go ahead and share your profile and we begin the session.
Surely, all yours.
Thank you so much for being kind. So friends, as you know, we do share the profiles of all our celebrity guests who are here on the International Fab Talks. And today, I take pride and privilege to share the profile of our guest celebrity. He's none other than Dr. Sagar Pathak. By profession, as I earlier mentioned, he is a gynecologist working in Pune, Maharashtra. Let me add more. He completed his MBBS and MD in obstetrics and gynecology from Pune University. He completed his MD in the year 1999, and since then he runs his own well-equipped hospital called Suyash Hospital at Kothurud, Pune. He performs advanced laparoscopy and other surgeries in his setup. This is his profession which has helped him till date to earn his bread and butter. Like we all do, work honestly and diligently and make a career of the chosen field. I mean, when we choose a certain field, we put in our all. But there's something more. If you're passionate about something else, then you go one step further ahead. You work the extra mile. So here we have Dr. Sagar. He's very passionate about making a change in the personal lives of people. It could be patients. It could be anyone who's interested in making a personal change in their thought process and accepting the truth rather than surviving on myth or on concocted stories. So he wants to create a beautiful change in the society at large. Following his passion is really a great one, he thinks, as I also think following one's passion is really great. And Dr. Sagar has been following his passion for the last 20 years. He has been working as a sexual and marital relationship counselor. Let me put it once again, sexual and marital relationship counselor. That's really nice. Dr. Sagar conducted more than 450 plus workshops regarding sexual and marriage counseling throughout Maharashtra at various schools, colleges, various platforms, online and offline platforms for the general public at large. The prestigious Sagar Pathak Pune has published his book titled Lagnachi GPS. Let me put that right. Lagnachi GPS regarding marriage counseling. So here we have a doctor, a passionate person connected with bringing out the very best, even as an author. That's what is the beauty of people. When they use their mind for the right things, they perform very well in the world. And so we have here this great professional. That's really nice. My dear friends, this beautiful book that has been written by our guest, he's Dr. Sagar. It gives us insights into premarital counseling or pre-marriage counseling, which is very important for all the young adults. It is also referred to by many psychological students and counselors for enhancing their knowledge. Dr. Sagar is also the proud founder of a charitable trust, the 4Cs. To put it right, 4Cs Counseling Center, through which he conducts various counseling training sessions. He and his team, they conduct various counseling training sessions for children or maybe for students and people interested. More than 2,000 students have been trained through these training programs in the field of matrimonial counseling, because that is the need of the hour. People have been shying about it earlier, but now people like Dr. Sagar have come forward to save not only the youngsters, but middle-aged and senior citizens as well. In addition to many television and radio programs, Dr. Sagar is also an avid podcaster trying to impart the correct knowledge, the correct information regarding sex, sexuality, and sexual life. Many of his YouTube podcasts and Instagram posts have garnered more than 1 million views and positive reviews. So let's get to know more about it all today from our guest and celebrity. He's here with us, Dr. Sagar. Let's go ahead without wasting time, without hesitating to ask the right questions and to clear the doubts that are within our thought process or in our minds. Dr. Sagar, the first question I'd like to ask you, why did you enter into the field of the medical zone, first of all? Many have gone into engineering or into some other zone, banking sector, etc., or business or entrepreneurial journey. Why did you enter into the medical stream? Why did you choose to become a gynecologist? These are the first two questions. Over to you.
So, so I come from a family of doctors, and I think since I was born, I was into that zone of being a doctor, wherein everyone in the family is treating patients, getting them better, curing them, and that actually drove myself to practicing medicine. Uh, to actually elaborate on your question a little further, yeah, I became a gynecologist because of that. But after completing my gynecology, when I started practice, I started realizing that I'm seeing patients who have come with problems which were not there in any gynecology textbooks. Okay, I was never taught about sex, sexuality, sexual life in my gynecology education and curriculum. It was a very fleeting touch, a topic to be touched. Okay, just like you said, it is a taboo thing. Yeah, in our society, sex is always looked at something which needs to be discussed behind closed doors. We discuss sex, yeah, we do want to discuss sex. Everyone wants to discuss. But it is discussed only behind closed doors, or it is discussed through those very dirty and vulgar WhatsApp jokes, which we forward each other. These are the only two ways in which sex is discussed. And when I started my practice, I realized that most of the patients which are coming to me for infertility, pregnancy, gynec problems, every patient has some element of sexual misdemeanor or a sexual issue with which they are coming. And then I started my research, I started learning more about it. And that is how it actually became my passion. That is when I realized that if I can help them with their sexual life, their marriage life, I can better their relationship. I actually am able to treat them better and get them cured of their illnesses much better. That is how being a sexual counselor, being a marital counselor, dealing with relationship issues became my passion. And till date, yes, gynecology provides bread and butter on my table, but the satisfaction of being a doctor, satisfaction of being a human being comes from this counseling which I impart. So I'm really, very happy when I'm discussing with people, talking with them, understanding them. Yeah, being a gynecologist does have its benefits, but yes, this is more which helps me in my own psychological way, you can say.
Super, super. I really like this. That's really wonderful. I could relate with you because I come from a teaching background. That is for bread and butter. But then this
Yep.
is a passion where I connect with people on the International Fab Talks, get to know their thoughts and views, and help them reach out to the world and help the world reach out to them on various topics. So that's, I understand what is passion. The way you shared that very powerfully, that's really wonderful. Now, doctor, I'd like to ask you now, who are the type of people that come to you for any kind of counseling with regard to sexual life or sexual activities? Is it the youth, the middle-aged, or senior citizens? If I'm not mistaken, I guess it is the youth. I leave it up to you to answer this question.
Sex is universal. Chalo, let's put it as very basic, you know. We are always taught that mankind has three basic needs. What are those? First is food, then is shelter, then is clothing. But frankly, once your tummy is full, na, the only desire that you have is have a sexual relationship. Even if you don't have a shelter over your head, even if you don't have clothes on your body, once your tummy is full, the next need or the next desire is sexual intimacy. That is how we as a human race survive. If that would not have been a basic necessity, then the human race would never have survived. It's that basic a necessity. And therefore, people who come to me come throughout the age group. I have had very young kids, say 5 years, 6 years, being brought by their parents with the complaints that he's excessively touching himself, he's trying to touch his private parts. I don't know how to deal with them. I've had parents bring 7, 8, 10-year-old kid with questions regarding multiple things like a sanitary napkin or a condom, or they've seen their parents unfortunately indulging in a sexual relationship. I get teenagers who are confused about what is actual sex. I get interchange or intersex people, people who are confused about their sexuality. I get people who come to me before their marriage. I get people who come to me before their honeymoon night. I get people who come after marriage. I get people after they get pregnant, after they deliver. And you'll be surprised that apart from this age group, I also get people in their 50s, 60s, or even 70s who come to me with their own sexual issues. I remember a scene where I was invited to a college, and that the dean of that college was a very close friend of mine. She is a very senior lady, Mrs. Chitare Karke. So she had invited me for a talk on sexuality after 60 years. And to be very frank, I was very frightened. This is around 10 years ago. I said, no, it's just not possible. People will not come. But that session, the auditorium was roughly around the capacity of 250 odd people. And there were around 400 senior citizens who were trying to fit in through the auditorium with people lining the aisles and sitting in the aisles. And afterwards, the principal had to arrange a speaker on the quadrangle downstairs wherein people were standing in the quadrangle and hearing me. So, sex is a universal thing. So, there is no age bar. But the problem is that when I started my sexual counseling journey, most of the people used to come to me with vague complaints. They used to come with me saying, no, my wife is not getting along with me. We are having constant fights. The wife used to say, no, I have a constant headache, or there's pain in my tummy. Vague complaints. They never used to come with any sexual issues. Only when you talk with them, only when you try to understand them, then they used to divulge their real issues. Because sex, even today, is a very intimate matter. It's a very personal matter which you don't even discuss many times with your own partner. I have had people who don't discuss the issues that they have with themselves, forget their partners. It is that intimate an issue, so personal issue. So, sexual counseling is something which is very, very important, but the counselor has to really get into the mind of that client to get to know her, or get to know him, and then discuss about those issues. So, age, no bar, sex, no bar, sexuality, no bar. There is no bar on anyone who comes to me for a sexual counseling. And that is the beauty of being a sexual counselor because I'll be meeting people from all walks of life, male, female, intersex, LGBTQ plus, senior citizens, young adults. That's the exciting part which I like.
Yes, doctor, that's really nice. Very interesting to know. I was listening to you very patiently and with curiosity. You've mentioned as young as 5-year-old children coming up to you. I mean, their parents bringing them to you, and as well as senior citizens who are interested and who are focused on their active sexual life, to put that right. Now, I would like to ask you this with regard to emotional connection between partners. That plays a very important role, either you are married or unmarried, because now is the age of the live-in relationships. Earlier we had marriage being forced on, or that was the main thing, but now it's a bit liberal and westernized and a bit progressive, I guess, giving space before you fall into the trap of that marriage zone where you are applicable to, or you have to be answerable to the law if you want to separate. But then a live-in relationship is a little more, you can balance that a little from your end. Now,
Okay.
until you are emotionally attached or attracted or emotionally connected to your partner, one cannot enjoy sexual pleasure. That is from my personal view, and as well as from the people I've met around me who have shared this very openly. I would like to say that. Now, how would you, as a doctor and a person being a counselor, counseling more than, I think thousands of people you might have counseled till date, from your experience, how would you like to explain this, the emotional connect to physical intimacy?
Okay, actually, let's tell you a story of my client, and then I think that will help us understand the emotional connect. So I live in a city of Pune, Maharashtra. As you know, Pune is called as the Oxford of the East. So we have a lot many educational institutes in Pune, and the area where I live, that's Kothur, that must be having more than 30 huge educational institutes around my hospital. So I get a lot of these young adults, both males and females, coming to me for counseling. So I'll tell you a story of such a couple. So these two, this boy and this girl, they were studying, they were doing some graduation course. They had a very nice group in the college, five, six, seven people, and they were very good friends. So they enjoyed their first year, second year, third year, and they were now going to give their final exam and graduate. Then this boy and this girl, so let's call the boy as Y and the girl as X. So this X and Y, they were never in a romantic relationship or anything. But that age is such that you're very curious about sex. You want to explore things. You want to be in a relationship. So what X and Y decided was that see now the girl, that X, she was living I think somewhere in Himachal Pradesh, Dehradun, and come to Pune to study. The boy was from South, I think from Chennai or Belgaum or somewhere. So they both had decided, okay, chalo now that we are graduating, after graduation we'll go to our hometowns and we'll never be meeting again. So we both like each other, not in a romantic way, but yes, in a girl boy kind of way. So let's have a one night stand. Let's come together for one night, enjoy having sex with each other, and then we'll never meet again in life. Such a beautiful and a nice idea, right? So, accordingly, what they did was before their exams, they booked a hotel, they went to a hotel, they had sex. Thereafter, they graduated, went to their hometowns. The girl went to Himachal Pradesh, the boy went to Tamil Nadu. And then there was a gap of 3, 4, 5 years. After 3, 4, 5 years, the boy was getting married. So, when you are getting married to some other girl, right? So when he was getting married, what he did was he thought of inviting his friends. So he sent out WhatsApp invitation on this college's group. And that is how the girl from Himachal got to know that this boy is getting married. And then she realized, Arey, he's getting married to someone. I really love him. I really like him. And then, without any thought, she flew down from Himachal directly to his house. And then you could have imagined the chaos that must have happened at that boy's house. What does this story show us is that they both enjoyed their sexual activity. To enjoy a sexual activity, there has to be some emotional bond between the partners. If there is no emotional bond between the two partners, the activity can never be enjoyable. So they both had a bond, which, whether they acknowledged it or not, is a different story. They realized it after whatever 4 5 years of being separate. So emotional bonding is very essential. Otherwise, there is no need of having this institution called marriage or a live-in relationship or anything. Why do you need these institutes? Why do you need a marriage? Why do you need a living relationship? Because an individual to enjoy a sexual activity needs to have and form a very emotional bond with their partner. Otherwise, sex with a paid worker would have given the same joy. But that is not the case because there is no emotional connect with a paid worker. There is always an emotional connect with your partner. And that is how you can have a sexual activity with the same person, maybe throughout your life, even though you know that partner in and out. You might have indulged with the partner sexually with the partner multiple times, but still, every sexual act will be an enjoyable for both of them. And that is where emotional intimacy plays a huge role. And as you grow in the relationship, the physical intimacy is secondary, emotional intimacy is more important. That is what actually makes it count.
Well explained with lots of clarity. Thank you so much. To as the years go by, the physical intimacy slowly changes to the emotional stability that you have in the relationship. And the first priority is the emotional connect, and then the physical relationship continues. Doctor, I'd like to be very frank and ask you this question. Irrespective of gender, if there is a loyalty issue, there are couples who are disloyal with regard to the physical activities, one of the partner, either of the spouses or one of the partner cheat in the relationship and they want to come back and stay with their partner, the earlier one. But that person's trust is broken, and hence that person cannot indulge in any sexual activity with the person who has broken his or her trust. No matter what you do, whatever the wealth in the world you give that person whose trust is broken, he or she will not accept it, and the relationship cannot go forward. It will be completely shattered. With regard to this, what do you have to say? What role does loyalty play in a physical relationship, especially with newly married couples, or you could even say middle-aged couples? Over to you. I would give you the freedom to share from your perspective. Over to you.
Loyalty, I think, is very subjective. I'll explain it. Made a very controversial statement. Loyalty is subjective. What I feel as loyalty may not be perceived by you as loyalty. Okay. What you stated was a general perception that is there. And if one partner cheats on the other, the relationship always breaks down. Okay. Now I'll give you an example of one of my patients. She had come to me saying that, sir, you have to correct me. I have some issues. Maybe my physical appearance, maybe my mental makeup, maybe I'm not able to satisfy my partner, and therefore my partner seeks for extramarital relationship. Okay. Now this woman, what she used to do is her husband had an extramarital affair. This woman used to love him despite all that. She used to drive her husband to that other woman's house. The husband and that other woman used to be in the bedroom doing whatever they want to. She used to sit in the drawing room watching television. And after that husband and the woman finished their job, she used to drive the husband back home. Now, someone find it very disturbing. How the hell can she do it? How the hell? So that's what I said. It is subjective. Everyone will feel at some point of time the urge to be with some other person. How you control it, how you discuss it with your partner, why you do it. Do you do it as a one time thing or as a continuous activity? How emotionally connected are you outside the marriage? How are you invested emotionally in the marriage? Those things I think are what count. A transgression of one time because of some issues in the relationship can be managed. But if a person is transgressing continuously, repeatedly, not getting emotionally invested in the basic relationship, that is something which is not good. Then, yes, that relationship has serious issues. So, as a counselor, I'll never judge people. I'll never judge whether they want to remain with their partner, whether he has extramarital affair or no. But I will always try to make them realize whether their partner who's having a relationship outside their marriage, is he emotionally invested with them? Is he emotionally connected with them? Is he indulging in those extramarital affairs because there is some issue in between them? Or is it a habit? If it is a habit, if it is because he's not emotionally connected in the relationship, then yes, that relationship stands no chance to go ahead. But if it is a transgression of a single time or because of the circumstances, then yes, and he's willing to change, the relationship can go ahead. We have a very excellent example of the US President, Mr. Bill Clinton, who had a big affair and still his wife took him in. Will we be judging his wife for being a bad woman? Or will you be judging the president to be a bad person? No, it's for them. It is their subjective feeling. Okay, so whenever a case comes to me with infidelity, I always try to understand why this thing happened. How much is the emotional investment that they have? What is the thing that they are willing to contribute in that relationship? If they are willing to contribute, if they're willing to invest, if they're willing to go ahead, if they're willing to take care of their partner, then yes, the relationship can stand a chance and it should be given a chance. And that's what I feel.
Excellent, excellent. I like the way you're putting all of that, with lots of clarity and with a wonderful example of Hillary Clinton accepting her husband in spite of being publicly shamed. I mean, her husband being publicly shamed. She has accepted that and she has taken him back. But she has a very large heart. I wouldn't do that. And many of the people out there wouldn't do that and be so generous to take back the spouse. Right?
No, no,
So
no,
that
no,
is,
no, 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 no. No, I'm not, no, 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 I object. It's not her generosity. Okay. Her
it
generosity
is
is one
subjective,
part.
you said, right?
Yeah, her generosity is one part, but at the same time, the
Yes.
husband also agreeing to not transgress again.
How
The
can we
husband,
trust? How can we trust? Because they say
that,
this, doctor, allow me to
yes.
complete this. Because they say once a cheater, always a cheater. How would you explain this? Being a person
No,
who's non-judgmental, I mean, a counselor, as a counselor, you have to be non-judgmental, and I accept that. Very confidential and non-judgmental in your profession. But once a cheater, always a cheater, that tagline is there. How would you, as a sex counselor, try to decode this for us?
yep.
As you say, do people really change after cheating the first time, or is it only for a brief period and they continue it again later on? Over to you.
That's what I said. Now, I'll give you an example. I had a very senior government official who had a affair in his office, and his wife found out. And then he said the exact same thing. I'll not cheat again. I'll not go with her again. I have broken all bonds and things. Obviously, the wife cannot take it at face value. I totally agree with you. Okay, I agree with the wife. Yes, you can't take it at face value. So now the onus of the wife gaining the wife's trust is on the husband. He has to gain the trust. How will he gain the trust? So he is very senior. He was a very senior government official. So I said, okay, fine. Give all your phone passwords, your internet passwords, your Facebook passwords to your wife. Are you willing to do that? He said, okay. Then I told him, you go to your office, you sit in your office. In your office, is there a desktop phone, a landline? He said, yeah, it's there. So I said, okay, fine. You have to receive the call your wife gives you, say, every half an hour or 1 hour. Are you willing to do that? He said, it will hamper my work. Yeah, I said, it will hamper your work, but you have to gain the trust. So she should know that you are at your desk. How will she know? One, yes, she'll make a phone call. Maybe sometimes she'll make a video call to you, and you have to show that you are in the office. You have to pick up the phone. Are you willing to do that, even if you are in a meeting? He said, yeah, I'll do it. Then his location. I said, your location, if you're out of the office, if you're, say, going for coffee with your friends outside the government office, you have to tell her and go. So, gaining the trust of the wife is the onus of the husband. I totally agree with you. Ki we can't go at the person who has done the infidelity or has extramarital affair to be trusted at face value. Okay, a criminal will always say, I'll reform. But has he reformed has to be shown, seen, accepted by the other person. Without that, it cannot continue. So, for the relationship to survive, the person who has made the mistake has to gain the trust of the other spouse. And as I said, this is one part of gaining trust. Okay, letting your spouse know your whereabouts, letting them know where you are, with whom you're talking. If you're going to a gathering, you have to take the spouse along. So these are small, small ways wherein you can start to gain the trust of your spouse and make them realize that yes, you are not going the old ways.
That's
It cannot be it cannot be 100% thing. Absolutely can't be 100% thing. But small steps go a long way. Let's start with that.
excellent, Dr. Sagar. That's really nice. That is like some hope for the people who feel like they cannot trust their partners again. You have given certain types of tips and certain hints how you can regain the confidence or trust of your spouse. That's really nice.
I really want to add one more thing. You told the good thing. We talked about good things, but I have seen certain spouses trust their partners blindly. Means if one partner, it's sex. The sex of the partner doesn't matter, right? Whether it's a male or a female, both
Very
do
true.
the same thing.
Very true.
So when your partner cheats on you, the other partner always forgives. No, okay, उससे ये गलती हो गया, that's okay. Second time the cheating happens, this other partner says, no, it is my fault that I didn't give him time or I didn't give her time and therefore she cheated. So this kind of victimization, the other partner who is invested in the relationship keeps committing on themselves. That is also wrong. Always giving the benefit of doubt to the cheating part. Just like we don't acknowledge many times the physical violence which happens in a relationship and continue with the relationship, same way, this is a sort of sexual violence, the sexual infidelity, which many spouses internalize it, thinking that it is their fault and therefore this transgression is occurring, and give the benefit of doubt to the other cheating part. This also should be avoided
Yes.
because this is not a healthy relationship wherein one partner always feels victimized though they have not done anything wrong, and the other person thinks that it is their liberty, their right to cheat. I cheated, it's my right.
Yes, that's really nice. You explained that very well. Now, I have a small question for you. I mean, one truth where I've read, I've heard, if the partner, one of the partner cheats, the other partner doesn't forgive, the other partner also indulges in the same. He has done it or she has done it, why not I? That is a revenge. There is love, but they want to take that revenge. If he or she has done it to me, I will also do it. I need that gratification, to feel that I'm on par with my partner because he or she has broken my trust. I'm going to do the same and I feel good about it. Have you had such cases with you?
Yeah, this is an ongoing trend, wherein every partner wants to be at par. You talked about sexual relationship. I can talk about alcohol or drinking. My husband can drink 4 pegs. I'll also drink 4 pegs. My husband can smoke. I'll also smoke. Whether I like it or no is immaterial. My husband can come home at 1 o'clock at night. I also can come home at 1 o'clock at night. This is not at being at par. My husband cheats, so I can cheat. No, this is not at par. At par means what? Doing the right thing for your relationship, and both have to do the right thing. If he is drinking and you are drinking, both the things are wrong.
Very true.
So that is not being at par. At par means if he is drinking and you are giving him inputs that this is not good, you must not drink, we should enjoy something different. Okay.
Doctor,
If
I'd like to interrupt here because now when you say this, you work on the relationship, your partner has cheated you, with regard to the physical relationship, their sexual intimacy is broken, the trust is broken, and one of the partners accept them, work on the relationship. There is a threat in most cases, or maybe in a few cases, to contract sexual diseases. And there are several people who I have heard saying this to me. I have read it also that they have forgiven their partners, and in return, the gift they got was the sexual disease from their partners. Now, as a sex counselor, and as in your profession and passion that you have for transforming the lives of people, how you do address this issue? This is one of the grave issues that not only the Indian society faces, but the world at large. Over to you.
See, when a partner is cheating, yes, definitely there is a risk of spreading sexually transmitted diseases to the other person. Yeah, definitely. So, when as a counselor, I'm going to counsel them to gain the trust of their partner. The other way, I talked about giving their location, telling where they are. The other thing is to allowing the partner to do tests which will
Health
define
checks.
whatever, yeah, health checkup which will define whether he has a sexually transmitted disease, whether he's able to give it to the other partner, what is his health status. That also will prove um, that the person is not transgressing in the relationship. So definitely that is also one more way of gaining the trust of lost of your partner.
Yes.
Unfortunately, if you have contracted it already, then yes, we'll have to deal with it medically. There is no other escaping that. But unfortunately, if it happens, yeah, we'll have to deal with it medically.
Yes, doctor. Doctor, now with regard to premarital counseling, you are focused on that as well, as you've been doing that all along these years. Now, health checkups before tying the knot, getting to know all of it before itself. I think that is a trend. It's already caught up in India and across India as well. So getting all the tests, medical tests done to prove that you have not contracted any sexual disorder or any sexual diseases, or maybe any of the physical ailments that they have. And one more thing which I'd like to add to this is there are certain couples who are forced to get married by their parents, but they are like having different sexual orientation, or maybe they don't belong to that phase which is in the traditional way. So they are being trapped in that type of a marriage where one partner doesn't feel he or she is getting that physical intimacy or the physical satisfaction that is required in a healthy marriage. So if you could answer that, have you been having such
Yeah.
clients coming to you. I put all that together because these are all the things I've been reading and listening. Over to you, doctor.
So pre-marriage counseling is something which I'm very, very eager to do, you know. This helps people, the younger people who are getting into a relationship, either as an arranged marriage or a love marriage or whatever, or even a live-in relationship. It's a very exciting phase of their life. When they are going to enter into this relationship, they need to be counseled beforehand. Okay, we as a country, you know, we celebrate the big fat Indian wedding. Everyone loves. Recently, we had a very huge businessman's wedding, which stopped all the headlines on the news channel. So we are obsessed with marriage as a society. You agree? I think you, from whichever part of India you are, everyone is obsessed with marriage. Our parents want the kids to get married. They tell them about all aspects of marriage, which wedding planner, which venue, what kind of food, clothes, makeup, event manager, everything. What we as Indian parents don't tell our kids is what happens when all that tamasha gets over and then the bride and the bridegroom, both of them enter into the bedroom. Then what happens? No one tells about that. You are supposed to understand it yourself. You can't understand sex on its own. Because nowadays I've seen youngsters, see, everyone is curious about sex. Everyone is curious about how to have a sexual relationship and all that stuff. How do you gain the knowledge? Previously, you used to gain knowledge from your seniors through, say, magazines. Nowadays, the most important medium is Google Baba. That's it. Whatever you want, you Google it on the net and you read it, you see it, you observe the videos, and you think that you are an expert. Most of these videos, most of these sites are there to sell you sex. They are not there to teach you sex. This basic difference is what these youngsters who are so eagerly awaiting sex fail to understand. Google is not there to teach you. There are sites which teach you, but majority of them are there to sell you something.
Very true.
They sell you sex. Now, you imagine when a boy and a girl come together, they have a normal sexual activity and they separate. Is there anything to sell in it? There is nothing to sell in it. You can't sell a normal sex. So, what can sell is when a boy and a girl come together and they indulge in some stupid, crazy activity like gymnasts or something, then it is sellable. You can sell it. And these youngsters, since their puberty, they keep on watching the same videos with curious and stupid and crazy activities being done. And over a period of time, then they start realizing that this is what is normal. This is what is actually happens in the bedroom. And when they get married, they try to perform those crazy acts with their partner and they fail because that is not normal. That is all scripted, staged. And when they fail, they start doubting themselves. So, this is where pre marriage counseling comes into the picture to dispel the myths, dispel the misconceptions, dispel their anxiety regarding their sexual activity. Sexual activity is something which should be enjoyed. It is an activity which should be enjoyed between the partners, and that enjoyment will only come when they have the correct knowledge of that activity. And that is where pre marriage counseling plays a very important role. We talk about not just about the sexual act, we talk about intimacy, the emotional intimacy, the physical intimacy, the getting to know each other, the communication ways. As you rightly said, yes, investigations we do to rule out any physical defects in both of them. We also talk about their needs, their aspirations, their expectations. This is what forms a part of my sexual counseling before marriage. There is another part of it wherein whether their ideas match, whether their aims match, what are their aspirations in life, that also forms a part of the pre-marriage counseling. So it's a complete package. So definitely it helps them to understand themselves. It also helps them to understand their partner, and that can help them actually achieve it.
Very true.
So pre-marriage counseling is definitely important because whenever you talked about an arranged marriage, in an arranged marriage, what do we see? The height, weight, color, the
Money,
family background.
money,
Ah, great.
property.
Whether you own a car or a house or anything, no, these are things which will change over time. Today I may own a one room flat, and maybe after 10 years I own a 10-bedroom flat. These are things will change. I may be the most beautiful person just now. After 10 years, I'm going to grow old. I'm not going to look the same. So these things are going to change. What is not going to change is what are your emotions? What are your ideas? What are your values with which you have been brought up? What are your aspirations? What is your potential? And this is what you actually make them realize before marriage. Therefore, they get to align with each other. I come across many couples, who say they have matched their kundali, or in Maharashtra we say patrika. You know kundali, right?
Yes, I've heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's बिल्कुल. Wherein that astrologer says that हाँ this couple is a perfect match. उनके सब गुण जो है वो match होते हैं. I find it very funny. Your values should not match. If they are the same, then you are like marrying yourself.
Clash. There'll be a lot of clashes, I guess, right?
Exactly.
To be
So
very.
you have to have different value sets. You have to have different aspirations. Then only you will be able to grow. A marriage relationship should help each other grow. And when you have different aspirations and you align those aspirations, this is important. Having different aspirations is not wrong, but aligning them and then growing is important.
Excellent.
And this is what pre marriage counseling helps them, even in their sexual life. So let them have different aspirations, let them have different ideas, let them have different concepts of sexual life. But let them discuss, let them communicate, let them talk. We meet in India before marriage 1, 2, 4 times. Talk maybe daily basis. But whatever we discuss, we never discuss our sexual lives. I've had couples who are married for 30 years. And when I ask them, how's your sexual life and satisfaction? Oh, अच्छा है. Have you talked about it? Nah, nah, we don't talk about these things. So, talking between your partners about your intimate issues is also taboo. This taboo is broken. And that is how it helps to understand whether, yes, your partner is sure of his or her sexuality. And if at all you understand that your partner is not sure of his sexuality, say, like, for example, he's a male, but he's interested more in male friends. So then you will realize it whether you really want to continue in this relationship or not. So this is what pre-marriage counseling helps you. This understanding is very, very important, and that if you can do before the marriage, it helps. Back in 2002-3, when I started with this, I had hardly 2% people coming to me for pre-marriage counseling. Over a period of time, now yes, that number has risen. There are many couples who come who are willingly coming. Their parents are also telling them that you please go because they have realized the mistakes in their own lives. So this is a trend which is improving. I think it's a nice trend which is improving.
Yes, doctor. I agree with you. And I request all the youngsters out there who are plunging into that zone of getting married or in a live-in relationship. Either you're in a live-in relationship or getting married. Let me put all of that right because I muddled up a certain set of words. Now, if you are in a relationship or a live-in relationship, to put that right, if you're in a live-in relationship or you are getting married or already just married, you can just consult Dr. Sagar. He will really guide you in the right way. Dr. Sagar, I'm really very happy that you've taken up the time to share all this today. And I wish that you were there during our times when we were getting married. I really appreciate what you are doing today. As you mentioned, like you're going very strong since 2002 and 3, like till date. In the early 90s and all, when we were married, we didn't have all of this. We were just, pushed into marriage or, showed the path of marriage that is the end of everything. Or maybe once you're into it, whatever goes on will go on with it. So people like you are really an asset to the society. Now, doctor, I'd like to add this one question before we try to sum up in a short while. The question here is, a certain person who I know from very close quarters, it was a love marriage, okay? And she was pregnant before her marriage. And of course, the elders agreed later. And she didn't even know that she was pregnant. She didn't know that her partner has, made her pregnant. She didn't know. She was very innocent. Like many of the girls out there and boys out there are innocent. They don't know by indulging in a sexual activity, you are, entering into something very dangerous. You become parents. If you're not ready, if you're ready to become a parent, that is fine. You can enter into the sexual activity. But just for fun and pleasure, if you do it and then the girl falls pregnant, it's quite a different, complete different story. So here the couple were married off, and immediately after that lady giving birth to the first child, she within 3 months again she found herself pregnant again. Roundabout she underwent 5 abortions. So, and when she was sharing all of that, it was very painful. So that her spouse had a high sexual activity, or what you could say, very high sexual
Yeah.
energy, that he would always force her again and again without taking any precautions to what you say, like to what
Avoid the pregnancy.
yeah, to let me get that right, to avoid pregnancy, to either use any contraceptive. He didn't do that. He just would drag her down there and finish the act, and it was done. And she started avoiding him at a certain point of time. I said, I love him, but I don't want to have the sexual pleasure with him. I don't enjoy it anymore because I am falling pregnant and I don't want to have children because we are financially not stable. And so every now and then, in a series of sets, she underwent at stretch 5 abortions, and then she had her 6th child. So the first and the 6th, in between, there were around about 5 abortions. I think the 7th one it counts if you take the whole set.
Wow.
So now, what do you have to say about this? Have you heard such cases or more dangerous cases than these? Over to you.
No, let's not go into the dark web of horrible stories, because if I go over there, then I'll be able to tell much more horrible stories. But let's get to a generalized thing. Many women are forced to undergo abortions, especially in our country, which is obsessed with having a male child,
Male child.
the male heir to the family. So this trend, which is very bad. So when we are doing pre-marriage counseling, we also stress on this. We also stress on the importance of the gender of that child. It makes no difference. It makes no difference whether you have a male or a female. If we can align the husband and the wife on that, if we can make them realize that whether you have a girl child or a boy child, it really makes no difference to your life. They both of them will care for you the same way. So the values, the gender sensitization has to be done before their marriage. That is one thing. Secondly, obviously, you cannot indulge in a sexual activity with the fear of getting pregnant. You cannot indulge in a sexual activity with the fear of getting a sexual disease. You cannot indulge in a sexual activity with the fear of some trauma happening to you physically. So that thing needs to be discussed. If that male partner has a libido which is very much more than the woman, then definitely he needs to be counseled regarding the release of his libido. At the same time, he needs to be made aware of what the female is undergoing. He needs to be made aware of the fear that is instilled in the woman's heart regarding pregnancy. We can offer some contraceptive advice to the woman, which can be discreet, like a copper tea or oral contraceptive pills or something, or maybe a post-coital, post-intercourse pill or something, which we can offer to the woman with the consent of her partner, which will at least get this fear of pregnancy out. And then she also can indulge in the sexual activity which is satisfying. So, yes, there are multiple things which we need to do. But the most important thing in any sexual activity is communication. You have to be able to communicate with your partner. When I say communicate, now many people feel that I should talk with my partner. Yes, talk is one way of communicating. How you behave, your body, your eyes, your actions, they speak louder than your words. Say, for example, let's put it in a very simple way for you to understand. Is I like when my partner touches my cheek. I love it. Now, if I have to tell my partner to touch my cheek, I need not express it in words. I can just take my partner's hand and touch my cheek. So I have performed the action which my partner understands. I get the satisfaction of being touched the way I want. My partner gets the satisfaction of touching me. So, this is how we communicate. We need to tell our partner what we like, what we don't like, what we hate, what we enjoy, and in what way. This communication is very, very important. And this communication is very important, especially during the honeymoon phase. I'll not call it the honeymoon night. I always call it a honeymoon phase. Why? Because that is the phase wherein you are getting to know your partner. And you're getting to know each other. There are a lot of fears, a lot of anxieties, a lot of apprehensions about how the sexual act is going to happen. And that is a time when communication becomes very important. Fears are multiple. The fear can be of physical harm, fear can be of pregnancy. Fear can be of not satisfying your partner. Fear can be of not performing up to the mark. Fear can be of not getting happiness yourself. Fear can be about what other people, the in laws, or someone will say. Fear can be of whether you are in a secluded area, in an isolated space. See, we live in a country wherein space is a premium. Many couples don't have the intimate place to
Very
actually indulge in their sexual activity.
Yes,
So
I just
multiple
wanted
things.
to ask you that what you've shared now is one very important thing, and that is one main reason, to break that trust and that bonding, not trust, the bonding that begins at the start.
And I'll tell you a very funny story if we have time. I had this couple getting married, young couple, and say a month or two after the marriage, they came to me. I have known their family for last 15 years. So the couple comes to me and tells them, Sir, we are having a very big difficulty. Can you please counsel our parents? The husband says that you please counsel my father and my mother. I said, what is the issue? They said that, see, both of them are very loving people. Both the wife and the husband, both of them said, they're a very small family. They used to live in a flat in which there was a big bedroom where previously the husband's parents used to live, and a small bedroom where the unmarried bachelor used to live. When they married the son, what the father and the mother did was the larger bedroom they gave to the newly wedded couple. Such a nice gesture, right? So that the newly married couple can have intimacy, can have little privacy. And the smaller bedroom the elder couple took. The problem started there because they had only one bathroom, and the elder father who was there, he had diabetes. So every night At around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, he had to go to the use the bathroom, which was in the bedroom of his son. So he used to knock. The newly married couple used to wake up, open the door, he used to go perform his act, go back to sleep. This started happening regularly, and then the newly married couple just lost interest in finding the privacy. But the elder father didn't realize that he's committing this mistake. Though the intention was good to give them the room, but the act was not good. He didn't realize it. So when I talked with the father regarding this, then he realized, Arey, this is what I'm doing. Please, sorry, I'm so sorry. Then they built a small bathroom outside and their life continued. So communication and the fear of not getting that intimate space is also important.
Yes,
So
doctor.
many
Thank you for
times the
sharing. Yes, yes.
relatives do have a good intention, but that intention needs to be accepted by the newly married. So there are a lot of fears. So those fears, if we can overcome, so yes, they will have a very nice, beautiful, happy married life.
Yes, doctor. That's really nice. Very, very interesting. You shared that, and you made me visualize it also the way you were sharing it, like the elderly person coming, and it was quite visible that they were disturbed, and it was very innocent on his part, the elderly person, unknowingly, like it happens, at an unconscious level, like you're not knowing what to do, and things go haywire, and then of course you've been counseling them in the right way. That's really nice. I would love people to connect with you from all parts of India and across the world as well, because you have it all put in through experience. What you're sharing here is just not anything read from here and there. For me, what I've been asking you, I've been like viewing around things, I've been reading things, reading content and viewing it online and offline, certain information that I've collected. But for you, it is purely experience with your clients that has made you share all of that. So I would love people to connect with you and bond with you for the best sexual pleasure in their life, or one of the most important activities in their life, like apart from food, shelter, and clothing, and etc. They this one, the physical activity or the physical intimacy should go out in the right way. That's really nice. Now, if at all people have to connect with you, how do they connect with you? You are available online, as we've already mentioned that you're very, very active on Instagram, on other social media handles. Apart from that, if they would love to come directly to your clinic in Pune, so do you entertain even people from other states? If you could share that.
Yeah, I do offer offline as well as online counseling. So I do have a lot of clients who connect to me from all over the world, maybe USA, UK, Australia. I had recently a client from Germany. So yes, they do connect with me offline, online. Offline, I'm there in Pune at my hospital. If people want to connect with me, yes, they can get in touch with me through my Insta handle @ Dr. Sagar Pathak. That's Dr. Sagar Pathak. So definitely they can just drop in a message. Me and my team are pretty efficient, I would say, to connect with the messages. Obviously, it becomes a little difficult to give my personal number because it will be very difficult for me to manage it. But yes, you can connect through me to Insta or Facebook. That Facebook I'm not very keen on using, but Insta, I'm pretty comfortable. So definitely they can get, and obviously, um, these podcasts will keep on coming. Like if you get a reference, you know how to contact me. So that's how I get people to come to meet me.
Yes. My dear friends, we'll share the description details very clearly. We'll share all of Sir's contact details, either his Instagram handle or the hospital or the clinic where he has all his work going on, and his charitable trust, which focuses on the 4 C's. And it is a counseling center where you can also go for training. And that we'll have in session 2 with Sir. We'll request Sir to come forward and again share about his charitable trust as to what it is, because they are training students. They have trained almost 2,000 students with regard to uh, marital counseling, if I'm not mistaken. So I would love all of you to join hands with our guest, Dr. Sagar, and create a positive change in the society to be more open, to be more progressive than regressive in your thoughts, to avail the right kind of information in your personal lives, connected with your spouse and you and your entire family. Dr. Sagar, thank you so much for being here. I wouldn't want to let you go. I would like you to share much more, but I'm sure you will give me 1 hour again in the next session if I request you to, because you have a lot of information and I have a lot of questions still to ask you.
Sure. I would love to answer the questions regarding whether it's you or your viewers. Definitely, you can send me the queries. We'll answer them. No doubt about that. And one more thing which I wanted to share, you just stated that I've written a book called Lagnata GPS.
Very true.
Yeah, that is in Marathi. So very soon I'll be coming with a English translation of that book. So which definitely will help quite a bit because I've got a lot of feedback from people saying no Marathi we can't read. So yes, definitely it is coming in English. So I'll definitely let my viewers know when the book will come in English.
Thank you for sharing that. If that book is out as quickly as possible, maybe I too could lay my hands on that and share it with the right kind of people and let them also avail the benefits of that. You can pass it on from one generation to another. And if you feel it really good, you can even gift it to the newly married couples, or you could gift it to people who are really going to enter into that zone of either in a live-in relationship or in a marriage relationship or for your own selves, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you, Dr. Sagar. You've done a wonderful job. You've really, done justice to the platform because people don't talk about this openly, and it's not a shame to discuss about it in the right way, not in a negative way or in a vulgar way, but in the right way with the right perspective. If we speak about this topic called our sexual activity in our bedroom, in our lives, it is always good and it is healthy. So requesting all the parents and the youngsters out there to be very careful when you discuss this topic. Stay connected and stay connected with the right kind of information and with the right kind of people. For example, Dr. Sagar, who is a professional having more than 2 decades of experience in this field. Thank you, Dr. Sagar. Looking for much more in the next session. Bahut bahut dhanyawad.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Same to you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for being so kind and liberal with your time. Stay blessed and stay connected, and please continue the good work. And we like you for who you are and for the good work that you are doing. Stay connected and stay blessed.
Sure. Thank you. I take your leave.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Thank you. So, dear friends, do share this video with the right kind of people, especially the youngsters and the middle-aged and senior citizens as well. We focus more on the youngsters because it is their turn now to stay safe and not to repeat the mistakes of the previous generation or of their parents or grandparents, to be more aware about themselves, their bodies, and about their spouses. If you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. And above all, if you'd love to connect with our celebrity guest, we will share the description details very clearly for you to contact him and to clear all the doubts that you have in mind and go in for counseling, which is non-judgmental and very, very confidential. With this, we'd like to sign off now. Stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you, Doctor.